Hello, my name is Matt. Welcome to Unbearable 73. In this episode, we're reviewing Stranger Things Season 1, Episode 2. So let's talk about, there's a couple production issues I want to bring up. On the visuals, the dingy lighting effects seems to be a regular thing with the show, but the directors seem to be able to avoid the worst aspects of it, so until it's actually a problem, I'm not going to mention it again. On the direction itself, the show is a good example of how to manage a lot of scenes and transitions in comparison to, say, Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is a very bad way to do it. Okay? I'm reviewing that series too, and Stranger Things works well to demonstrate the positive aspects of putting a lot of micro scenes together. Okay? Also, and pay attention to this, in this episode, in 16 episodes, the Dust Brothers seem to be experts at the concept of show and don't tell, which means depict something visually by a scene and the actors doing something rather than have them stand there and give long exposition to explain something. Now let's get to the plot of this episode. There were several major plot points, but most of them seem to revolve around two particular major plots that all other ones spun off of, okay? So the plot involving Eleven is probably the best in this episode from a lot of reasons. And so far my impression of Millie Bobby Brown is increasing. I was really down on her due to Godzilla King of the Monsters. Not to hijack this review, but she played what we call in kaiju movies she's a Kenny, which is a child who's placed in the forefront of the human cast. Kenny's are named after the child character in the first Gamera movie. 7 out of 10 times a Kenny is a detriment to a film. The main problem in the legendary Godzilla films is and has always been the overuse of the human cast and too many plot lines involving them. And I kind of blame that on her for Godzilla King of the Monsters because she was a Kenny, but in reality, she was just a subset of the bigger problem. So even through 2 episodes, she seems like a very good actress, especially for despite her younger age here. You know, she conveys thoughts and emotions, giving her minimal dialogue with exceptional depth. Her scenes with the AD&D boys, as I come to think of them, are excellent. She conveys the horror of her character experience in an excellent fashion. Now I'm going to play a clip with no sound, just to show how the visual acting aspect of this is. Just watch their facial expressions and the movements. The boy, she's a lot to explain in a second. There was very minimal dialogue in that scene, and to give you an idea of what was happening, basically having been enslaved in the lab, Eleven stands up to remove her clothing because she's soaking wet from the rain, right? And the boy's like, you gotta get out of that wet clothing, you're gonna get sick. So they give her some clothes, and she immediately gets up and starts to take off her clothes right in front of them, and they're like, stop, no. And they tell her to go in the bathroom. And then she and Mike had that awesome little scene where they said very little words, but look when Eleven walks into the room and she looks around, examines the room with that facial expression where she's just another room she could be trapped in, and she looks at the door and sees the door closing and stops it, and gives that little sort of like panicky but like afraid look, but not out of control look. And then Mike picks up on that there's a little bit of verbiage in there, but he picks up on it and he's like, how about we just leave the door a little bit open? And then she's reassured because he doesn't want to lock her in the room, she thinks, because he's been helping her. Again, the excellent acting in those scenes by both kids. Now, the other plot involves the search, and that's moving along nicely. Even though there's a lot of switch around between the two, plus some of the other subplots, we got a sense that things are moving. And one of the main things to bring out of this is we can see deeper character and abilities for Sheriff Hopper. Now, I still think they gave him too many vices, but so long as they remain just minor background issues, there's not much to complain about. We also learned that the man has been depressed since his daughter died, and the Sheriff Hopper is beginning to get a sense that there might be more going on. The discovery of Benny's body, which has been staged to a suicide, was tied into the search for Will Byers in terms of subplotting, meaning not that they know that. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Even 1980s forensic science should be able to figure out that Benny didn't really commit suicide. They should be able to do gunpowder residue tests, which certainly existed back then, and they should be, and also tell if the bullet was shot from much further away than point blank and at a different angle than it would be if you held your head that way. Questioning the people who were in Benny's diner leads him to discover 11, but due to some badly manipulative questioning, they confuse 11 with Will. And when I say badly manipulative, I don't mean that it was like bad writing or writing due stupidity. It played out how people who are preoccupied by one thing and not being objective might erroneously do that line of questioning. The scene played out very well. It didn't come off as contrived in any way. So that was actually, and that's how it tied into the search for Will, because now they think that's Will, and they're investigating the murder as part of the suicide, I should say, as part of that issue. You know. So I'm not going to belabor this because these are just some nice, decent, quick reviews. I enjoyed this episode a lot. The actors all did a great job, and there were no scenes. I can't think of a single scene that didn't really serve a purpose. I would have mentioned that. I'm going to call this an 8 out of 10. Comment down below if you have any questions for me about this video. Please share your thoughts. Share this video if you enjoyed it. Like if you like. Dislike if you dislike. Subscribe if you want to hear more from me. My name is Matt. This has been Umbrella 73. Have a nice day. I am out of here.